Yeah, and I think everybody knows it, but if you cover the NBA for a living, you got 9 weeks to the finals, and you have columns to write. And I host a radio show for 8 weeks, and I have to create urgency. I think we all know. I feel a lot like, and by the way...
I'm not convinced.
Well, I am. I sometimes know the end of... I just watched Apollo 13 with my son, and I've watched it 5 times. And I said, you want to watch a great movie? He asked me about space. I said, let's watch it. And he said, you know the ending. And I said, it's still great. And I've seen the Titanic 5 times. I know the ending. It's still great.
Titanic's not great. Anyway.
But the point being is, it's okay. I know now, it's not going to help me for 9 weeks, but we all know the finish line. It's going to be the final. It should be the final. It's going to be a great final. I don't think the league loves that, but I think that's what we got.
Let me give you, we'll stick with your movie analogies. Godfather 1 was great. Godfather 2 was great. Godfather 3 was a dud. This could be a dud. The Cavaliers beating up Boston last night, to me, was meaningless. I agree with LeBron. Boston isn't the real threat in the East. I still think the Wizards could be a problem. I still think Toronto could be a problem.
You're going to beat LeBron 4 times in 2 weeks?
Listen, they can get into a funk. This is one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. I think the bottom 4 defensive teams in the NBA, the Cavs are the only good one. The Knicks, the Nets, and the Magic in the East. This is not a great defensive team. One of these Eastern Conference teams, maybe even the Miami Heat in the first round, could be a problem.
No, I don't see a problem. And there's no problem with us getting to the finals and getting the trilogy with Golden State and Cleveland. But what we don't know the narrative. Because the last 2 years, let's give it respect. The drama that rolled out in the playoffs. Also, there's going to be a significant injury, all right? So what? If Golden State gets there and Cleveland's going to be there, watch the narrative. That's the part in the 9 weeks that we have to continue to watch. Don't think that it's going to play out the way it has, because the last 2 years, we couldn't predict it. 2 years ago, what happened? Love goes down. Kyrie Irving goes down.
Right.
LeBron still wins 2 games. This past year, OKC gets ahead dramatically, get pulled down, lose the series. So the narrative is going to change regardless if we know who's going to be there in the finals, because there's going to be a significant injury and coaches and their lineup changes and what they do coming down the stretch.
I agree with you. There's going to be these teams in the finals, no doubt. The thing is, an injury can happen and change everything. And the injury bug has been biting Cleveland all year. The thing about Cleveland, they're finally getting healthy. You got to think all season long, they have not been healthy. And now they're getting Kevin Love back, J.R. Smith back, Kyle Korver back. This is the team that David Griffin had put together, now is coming to fruition. They put the Eastern Conference on notice last night, and the rest of the league on notice as well.
Remember, this is not March Madness. You got to beat this Cleveland team 4 times. Mm-hmm. Okay, 4. There's no way. Otto Porter, Bradley Beal, John Wall, Martin Gortat, not beating this team 4 times.
Right. This team can go into a funk. We've seen it before. I've seen LeBron James go into a funk.
In the playoffs?
Yes, against Boston years ago.
So you're more concerned about Cleveland making it than you are Golden State?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, who's going to beat Cleveland then?
Listen, I just said Toronto.
No,
anybody.
Toronto.
Anybody.
No way.
If you catch this team in a funk, it can happen.
They didn't hit the switch. They hit the switch. So
against Boston.
Well, that's the second best team in the East.
That's the second best team. Everybody was talking about this, the only team that could dethrone the Cavs.
They played 5 games in 5 days.
They said it's the only team that could be able to beat the Cavs. That's who they talking about. Washington don't have it. They don't have enough.
We don't have enough down low. Because you're a guy who likes to wager. We need to put a little wager or something on them.